position.
So we mentioned 30 laps in. Most of the teams told us they could get to about 57 to 58 laps on fuel, maybe a little bit more if it really, really mattered to them. Just under 100 laps to go now. Ty Dillon, your leader, here at Kentucky Speedway. So as Ty continues to lead, Trevor continues to fight that 6 car through the character of Kentucky Speedway. From the time they handed him the helmet tonight, Ty Dillon has been really, really strong here at the Kentucky Speedway. 89 laps led so far in that 3 car. And it's looking like 2012 all over again when older brother Austin swept here at the Kentucky Speedway both races. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance. Vince, you're first.
Well, Dave, it's interesting. You mentioned that Austin Dillon won a couple of times here in this 3 car. Now, of course, Ty Dillon is in the ride. And I talked with crew chief Danny Stockman about that similarity. He said, believe it or not, we can't come with the same setup that Austin used at all because Ty likes a completely different feel in his race car. Austin would drive it off the right front. Ty likes to drive it off the right rear. He said those notes would be great, but we can't use them. Still, I think they're having a pretty good night. He give Danny Stockman a lot of that credit. Rick?
I think if you told crew chief Greg Ives that his driver, Chase Elliott, was going to be running in second for much of this race before the race, he would have been surprised. He said they really felt they were dialed out on this. In fact, at one point they said they just felt they were completely wrong in the setup. They even came here and tested last month. They just didn't feel they have it. But as I said, they like long runs, and that's exactly what Chase has right now. The car is coming to him, and he's doing well with it. Vince?
Well, it's another strong run for the 2 of Brian Scott. These guys have been pretty strong of late, and they've got some power to show it again tonight. 9th, 5th, and 7th, the last 3 races. 9th last week at Chicagoland Speedway. They were right on the verge of challenging for a win on multiple occasions this season. Just haven't gotten it. Don't count it out tonight. The balance is pretty good right now. Rick?
Michael McDowell in that number 22 car knows the significance of this start. He's driving a Roger Penske car, doing the best he can. Great conversation with Jeremy Bullins. A little while ago, he apologized to the crew chief for taking too long to make a pass. Just like Ricky Craven said, you want to get into it and get out. Otherwise, you run the risk of having problems. And Jeremy just said, don't worry about it. This race is going to come to us. Meanwhile, Brendan Gaughan behind him, been working on the car together. They want to get a little more stagger in the back. They expect to do a track bar break. But remember, as I said earlier, he's done well here. Always finished in the top 6, and once again, now he's sitting in 5th place. So Brendan Gaughan knows this is a track where he can pull it off. He just has to do it tonight and move up another 4 spots. Jim?
Well, Rick, if you just get Elliott Sadler past the first 5 laps of the run, he is very, very good. The problem is they give up so much distance in those first 5 laps. They're playing catch-up the whole night. Kind of a similar story tonight. Right now, Elliott says that his car simply won't turn in the middle, but he's picking up spots, so don't close the door on the 11 car quite yet, Vince.
Well, it's been a battle for the 11 much of the night with that guy, the 6 car of Trevor Bayne. It seems like they have been around one another quite a bit. We got a caution, 39. That's Ryan Sieg, Dave.
Ryan is around, and he brings out our 4th caution. That's just off of turn 4. Let's find out what happened to Mr. Sieg.
Yeah, got loose in.
Drove it.
He really did. You see the rear tires spinning. He goes back to the gas to keep it out of the wall.
And we were coming up on a round of green flag pit stops fairly soon, probably within the next 10 laps or so.
It's about as good as that can end right there. That's it's hard to say that was a good job, but I applaud him. He did all he could do.
Kept it off the wall on either side. Again, Kentucky Speedway very wide. And just up out of the groove was Ryan Sieg to bring out our 4th caution. So, cars were last on pit road on lap 69. Everybody took 4 tires. Ricky, this is a time to take 2 and maybe get some track position. What do you think?
I think it's probably time to take 4 because we had a long green flag run. If you take 4 now, you can take 2 at the end. Well, I think if you take 2 now, you're going to put yourself in a box on that last stop.
So we'll see if everyone follows in line with that. Ty Dillon had about a I think it's a 6-second lead erased when this caution came out. So Chase Elliott and everybody else will now get a chance to get nearer to his back bumper and hopefully have their folks on pit road pick him up a few spots.
It's a really important time right now to make an adjustment to your car. If you're any of these drivers other than the 3 car, you got a gap that you got to close. About 2/10. Ty Dillon's been that strong all night long. So, I would swing for the fence. We're in full night mode here. The track's cooled down. Not going to be a big adjustment from here on out in terms of balance. Whatever you've been fighting, make a swing at it.
And if your car's balanced and you're just that far behind Ty Dillon, you got trouble tonight. Ty might just be that good.
Yeah, it's. I guess you better look in the mirror. I can't remember having that. There's always some place where you can be a little bit better.
Now, Ty has dominated here. He's led 97 laps, but remember what happened in June? Brad Keselowski led 138 laps. Was busted on pit road for speeding. That was, I think that was during a round of green flag pit stops. Brad finished second on the night, so the drama not done here. This is certainly not in the bag for Ty Dillon. The way he's run tonight, and the way his pit crew has performed on pit road, they're very, very strong.
Yeah, I think he made that clear when we talked to him before the race began, that
his strategy
was to win.
Our mailbag question saying how are you going to get to the championship from here. He comes in third. He's now 34 points back as they run. And by winning, do a lot to solve those issues. Chase Elliott still our points leader. His teammate Regan Smith, who runs in 8th position right now, second in the championship as they run. Pit road is open. Ty Dillon will lead everyone down pit road, everyone in need of Sunoco fuel, and Goodyear Racing Eagles. Rick?
Michael McDowell bringing that Penske car in for another pit stop. Goal simple. Do a track bar adjustment. He wants to tighten it up just a little bit, put in the Sunoco fuel, and then get it back out as quick as possible. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott, they were getting that car out quickly as possible, doing 4 as they can, 4 tires right there. He says he wants more overall grip out of this pit stop. Vince?
Upper right-hand side of your screen, that's Brian Scott. The track's starting to change at this point of the night as the crew chiefs are discussing it. So they're going to do a track bar adjustment, help him out a little bit, a 4-tire change. Also a track bar adjustment for that 3 of Ty Dillon. He really likes the balance, but crew chief Danny Stockman said, I think we need to stunt you up a bit for this late run. Ty Dillon, first one off pit road.
That first pit stall by virtue of his pole run earlier, they got to choose it. And that's been an advantage for Ty Dillon tonight. So Ty will continue to lead. Brian Scott and Trevor Bain followed him off of pit road. 83 laps to go here in Kentucky. Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Kentucky. It's the visitmyrtlebeach.com 300. Be sure to go to NASCAR.com for all of your latest NASCAR information. In fact, what would you do to promote a race coming up when Brendan Gaughan went swimming with the Sharks, Ricky?
He can strike up a conversation with anyone. Here he is, talking to the fish.
Even the turtles. That was at the Newport Aquarium in Newport, Kentucky. So, Brendan, he will do about anything.
Yes, he will. You got to appreciate it. He's fun to be around.
Brendan has led 16 laps, but not since early. He will resume the race from 6th starting position.
Told me a while back he wanted to go fishing. I had no idea that's what he meant.
He might have been the bait. You got to be careful. Those looked like they had teeth. Speaking of teeth, that 3 car has had it all night long. And you wonder now who can, put the challenge forth. Teammate Brian Scott, he's got the same equipment. He knows all his tricks. He knows what he's running. Scott will start to the inside. And in some cases, that's not been a bad line to start. But Ty choosing the outside, as most leaders have here at Kentucky this weekend.
You make a good point, Dave. If you're going to challenge the 3 car, you need to do it now. Seize the moment. You're lined up beside him. That's the hardest part of this business, is getting squared off with the driver.
Coming by to complete lap 120 as we're back under green in Kentucky.
Brian Scott got a good start here.
See if he can make it work down into the turn. There's that side grab you talked about. Brian Scott with a little bit of an advantage. Can he make it work off the corner? Here comes Ty.
Only if I had another foot and a half there. He could have cleared him.
Dillon fights back. He'll retain the lead going on for me. Scott will keep it side by side. And Ty Dillon is going to power his way around the high side and say, you're going to have to do more than that right now.
A couple of months back, I asked Danny Stockman, I said, give me one strength of Ty Dillon that really stands out above the crowd. He said it's easy. His restarts are exceptional. And he just confirmed it.
That was really good. Chase Elliott now moving by for a challenge for second. He's to the inside of Brian Scott as they head into 3.
Chase has gone about his business. I don't think he's had the speed that the 3 cars had, but he's done a really good job finding his way to the front. Battling hard here with Brian Scott. See Brian Scott kind of does a crossover.
A little further back in the pack on the right, you saw Kwasniewski moving through. He was scored 10th that time, coming by the stripe. Dan Kwasniewski in the 42 this weekend. That's normal for the Turner Scott Motorsports group. Chase Mosconi has taken on the 31, while Dylan Kwasniewski moves over to the 42. Normally driven this year by Kyle Larson.
I was never really good at multitasking. I'm going to watch on the left. You let me know if anything big happens on the right.
I don't think we're both allowed to talk at the same time. On the right, Landon Castle to the high side of Chris Buescher. And Elliott Sadler still looking for a place to go. Castle's going to take that spot. He puts Buescher back to 12th.
And Landon Castle does more with less. I mean, it's just remarkable. All year long, he's done more with less. Sometimes racing on used tires. Gosh, this is impressive.
And Sam Hornish back behind him now, looking for a place to go. Hornish scored in the 13th position. Well, Vince, it's a bit of a struggle right now for Sam.
Wicked loose. He has been fighting wicked loose throughout the course of this evening, and they've wrenched on it and still haven't been able to give him the grip that he needs. So certainly a handful for Sam Hornish tonight. A very uncharacteristic 13th place.
Yeah, I tell you, that has been an argument drivers have had all weekend, struggling to get into the corner. The single biggest fix for that problem is to get that car out front. I know that's asking a lot, but gosh, all your problems go away when you're out front and you can use all of the racetrack.
That's a big problem for Sam right now. He just clears Castle to retain the 12th position.
You can see that quick snap to the right. When you have to correct your car on corner entry, you miss your mark, you miss your line. Might be 2 feet, might be 4 feet, but if you miss your line, you give away speed.
And on this track, as you've mentioned before, sometimes you encounter the bumps in a way you can't handle it. You don't want to handle it.
It introduces you to a lane that you weren't comfortable with or familiar with. Trevor Bain, I think, has worked as hard as anybody tonight. Gosh, he's had his car sideways. You see a little wiggle here out of Brendan Gaughan on the high side. But Trevor Bain has benefited from the car being adjusted and getting better as the track has cooled down.
You saw the ticker going by there. They're battling for the 6th position. Brendan Gaughan in the 62, Trevor Bain in the 6th. With more on the 62, let's go to Rick.
Yeah, talking about Brendan Gaughan, and you saw I was a little wiggling there. He was complaining before that last pit stop that the car was loose. As a result, they did both an air pressure adjustment and a track bar. They put on 4 tires. I think it's helping a little bit, but you can see it's not an easy ride for Brendan Gaughan tonight. In the beginning, he was doing so well when he was leading this race, but now that he's had to fight his way back, it's been a struggle for him.
Fighting back, looking down to 62 of Brendan. I mentioned earlier, a very good average finish here. Good in the trucks that he ran in the early part of his NASCAR career, and also in the Nationwide cars. Sit back to the 9 of Chase Elliott, running third right now, 3 seconds behind race leader Ty Dillon.
A couple of tenths off the leader each lap. Done a great job tonight, as he has all year long. One of the things that stood out to me this week, listening to Chase Elliott, and it seems like every week it's something new. But the comment he made this week, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, we put every emphasis each week on the track ahead of us. We